Hi everybody and welcome to another workshop update. So let's go inside and see what Bob's up to. And we know that he had a bit of an event for weeks, so maybe we can ask him what that's all about. Bob, you here?
Yeah, B, round the back.
Perfect.
Where are you? There you are. Hey B, how you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy.
So, here we are today.
What are you up to? This is a nice, what's this, an SL?
This is the SL. We would have seen it in some previous videos in primer. Probably, I think the last video was that it was all masked up, ready to be painted. Earlier on this week, we done it in super black.
Amazing.
2-stage, water-based and clear coat over the top. And now what we're doing, customers opted to go for an absolute mirror finish on this. So here we are, we're giving it all a wet sand. Every panel will be wet sanded and polished up. So this is what we're doing today.
Amazing. I was speaking to the customer earlier. I think he was saying he wants this car to be some sort of concourse car for Goodwood or something.
This is, yeah, so this is, he's got some serious plans with this. The engine bay is a piece of art. So at the moment it's all masked up. His customer's been doing all the work himself actually, except the painting. But yeah, at the moment, so that's why we're giving it an absolute flat finish for him.
Amazing.
He wants to take this places.
Brilliant. All right, so talk us through what you're up to.
So, at the moment, we're giving it a wet sand. The process is, we start off with a 2000 wet and dry, with a little squidgy, 3M squidgy, using only the best products that there are. So 3M paper, 3M squidgy, and then we get a little bit of Evian. Evian's good for this. You can't go wrong with Evian.
If it's good for your body, it's good for the car, right?
If it's good, exactly. If it's good for your body, it's good for your car. So we pour a little bit of Evian over it, and then we wet sand. And what we're doing is we're taking out some of the orange peel or imperfections left from the paintwork.
So orange peel, explain that to me. What is orange peel?
When you look across the panel, new cars especially, cars that come out of a factory have orange peel. So that is the gun finish of the paintwork, the orange peel. So what we're doing here is wet sanding and just leveling out that paintwork. On these old classic cars, that's what was done. On new modern cars, we got to put the orange peel into that panel to match the original paintwork.
Oh, I see.
So a lot of places out there will wet sand and polish everything just because they can't achieve the finish that is required. Sometimes a job needs the orange peel to make it look as if it's a factory finish. And that's what we do down here.
Oh, amazing. So by wet sanding, we're going to give that mirror finish that he's after for that concourse look.
Best way of putting it, yeah. That mirror finish is what we're trying to do here now. So when you look down at that, when you look at this panel, it's flat, right?
Amazing.
When you look at the other panels, which we'll go to in a sec, you'll see that it's got a very slight orange peel to it. As a modern car, that would have been perfectly fine. Like I say, this customer wants a mirror finish, and that's what we're doing for him.
Yeah.
This can add up to something like 3 or 4 days extra labour to this job. So it's quite a long process.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's worth it, right?
It's worth it if that's what the customer wants, that's what the customer gets. So like I say, we'll go with a 2000 wet sand. Later on, we'll show you the other processes. So there's still more sanding involved in this. We'll go down to a 3000 grit, and then we'll go down to a 5000 grit, and then we'll start polishing. And then the polishing is done in 3 stages. A cutting compound, which will take out the 5000, what we call 5000 scratches. And then we'll go into a medium cut compound, which will help soften that heavy cut, and then we'll give it a final finish glaze that will take out any holograms and give us that mirror finish that we're looking for.
That's amazing. I mean, if I make my way across here, I mean, to the untrained eye, this panel looks shiny enough, right? So,
yeah.
But I suppose that's what we're fixing.
That's it. So yeah, if you just wipe this panel down here, that's a good enough finish. Being a modern car, that would have been more than adequate enough. A light polish over the top of that, and that's it. That would be the job done.
Amazing. So what else have we got here?
We got the shop 190 Cosworth there. Got to get around them to finish taking that off. A little bit of electrical bits and pieces to finish off. We'll sooner or later get around to that, get that back on the road for the summer, hopefully.
Even to this day, it's a good looking car, right?
Oh,
I don't know, it's just appreciate these older cars so much more.
To me, I think it's a really underestimated car. Off its day, it would have been the E30 M3, which would have been its rival, but that is such an understated car at the moment. So let's see where the value of these things go.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. If you get an opportunity, to get one of these things, if you get with the famous dog shift or dog leg gearbox, that's when the reverse is up at top, and you know, the iconic wheels and so on. But if you get a chance to actually get one of these, yeah, probably worth the buy.
Yep, 944 over here.
Yeah, look, there's one thing, Bob. I've got to stop you there. There's one thing I love about these things, right? If we make our way to the front, guys, it's the true pop-up era. So this is one of the cars that had those pop-up lights. And again, I don't know if any of you guys remember from that era, but it was a statement. Many cars, very few cars had that pop-up light, and it was an innovation in technology back then.
That is a brilliant thing back in its day. Yeah, so we would have seen this earlier on in the week, and at the moment it's all been stripped down, ready for prep work. So we've got a few little dinks and scratches and stone chips around it. So no real accident damage, no big bits of work on it. It's just cosmetic repairs on this one.
Yeah,
so
that's
car. Coming along. So at the moment that's stripped, ready to come along.
There's something in the booth again?
Yeah, something in the booth. That's just been finished. Well, we're finishing that off. 540 estate. Just done a side repair on that one, rear quarter, rear door.
Yeah, this is a good question, Bob. I've never asked you this question, so I'm probably going to ask you.
Yeah, go for it.
What's your opinion on Tourers? Are you a Tourer guy?
I'm a Tourer fan.
You're a Tourer fan, yeah.
Love Tourer cars throughout. Well, saying that, I did have a C63 2012 C63 Touring. Well, do I call it Touring or Estate? Mercedes call it Estates. BMW call it Touring. But yeah, that was phenomenal. It's such a versatile car for the family and have some fun in it, hoon around in it. Brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know. I know for me, I don't know. I can't get on with the Tourers. It's one of those things. I mean, I prefer the sleeker lines, but Bob, if that's the way,
that's what floats my boat.
Yeah, that's what floats. Then let's get on with it. But yeah, so this has come in. So what? This is just a quick freshen up. What we doing to this?
Well, I think customer went into a bollard or something on the back, scraped it against a bollard. So we've just done a quarter panel repair, rear door repair, blended it into the front.
Perfect.
Yeah, nice simple job.
All right, now I know the internet's asking, and I know they want to know. Earlier this week, we had a lot of updates, a lot of little shorts, and there's a lot going on in your life. You had a bit of an eventful week, haven't you?
Yeah, started off as a bit of an eventful week. So Tuesday morning, so you guys would have seen us teasing you about what the mystery car was. Tuesday morning, I came in, and there's a car parked outside across my front shutters. So, you know, here I am thinking, no one's called me that night. So someone's obviously had an accident that night. On the Monday night, and then decided to drop it off at the workshop. Best way to
Let's just hold it there. We'll show it to them outside.
Yeah,
we'll explain the story a little bit more. But
that
was one post. Later on in the week, I think you had another short as well. Something about being stuck. What was that about?
Oh yes, being stuck in the mud. Yeah. So you guys saw me getting pulled out of a sticky situation, a messy situation. See what's here, and we'll go over what's going on. So we're going to summarise on this whole story. So a couple of weeks ago, where I live, the little village, got flooded. So a friend of mine who lives closer to the Thames there gives me a call on the Sunday night. He goes, Bob, you need to move your cars, we're getting flooded. I was like, yeah, but we're fine where we are. And he was like, no, trust me, bro. He goes, move your cars. So 9 o'clock, I give one of a really good friend of ours a call. I go, listen, bro, can we park a couple of cars in your garden? He's like, yeah, come round. So me and my wife Indy, we jump in the cars, this one and our grey one, go and park them in his garden. Forgot about them for a couple of weeks while we were going through all of this flooding. So last Sunday, give him a call. I go, bro, can I come down and pick the cars up? He goes, yeah, no problem. So I went up there, picked my grey one up, started up first time, wasn't a problem, got it out of his garden and drove it out of there. Went back an hour later to go and pick this one up, jumped in it, got it half out of his garden, and that's it. It got stuck in the mud. It literally just spun up and just caked the car in mud. The wheel arches, it was covered. That's how we got stuck in the mud. And then what we done was, so my good friends, they own Raisbury car spares. They went up to the yard, picked up their 4x4 for me. We strapped the 4x4 to this and dragged it out of his garden. So that was the eventful story there. Absolutely got the wheel arches caked. I was disgusting and covered in mud, but that was the story of stuck in the mud. But main thing was 2 cars got saved from the flooding, and yeah, a massive shout out to my bros at Raisbury car spares. You need any second-hand car spares, hook them up, Raisbury car spares. So yeah, that was the embarrassing story with this one. So the other story for this week is the mystery car that turned up. Didn't know nothing about it. So let's go and have a look at which car that was.
So here is the reveal. A Range Rover.
So here we go. This was the mystery car that turned up. So Tuesday morning, I drove into the yard, 7:30 in the morning, minding my own business, decides in my head, planning out what needs to be done. Rock up, right, and just park Rago in front of the workshop, right, this thing. I'm like, bloody hell, man, what's going on here? So first thing that goes through my mind, all right, we know, first thing that goes through my mind, Range Rover, is it stolen? Has someone dumped it outside my workshop? So I give a couple of colleagues a call. I go, listen, anything to do with you guys? And everyone's saying no. So what is this? Probably 8 o'clock by this time, and and now I'm looking around trying to open the car. The car's locked. Seeing if anyone's left any keys in the wheel arches or in my letterbox. Nothing. So now I'm panicking. So it's probably about 11 o'clock. I give someone else a call. And I go, anything to do with you? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, that belongs to one of our customers. I was like, right, okay. So where's the keys? Oh, he'll probably come later on. So it's about 11, 12 o'clock we actually found out whose it was. But at that point, the customer still hadn't called me to tell me that he had an accident that night. So yeah, that was the story with this one. So we're quite lucky that no one had dumped it on us, or wasn't stolen and dumped on us. But yeah, poor fella's had a bit of a prang in it, bit of a mess. But let's see what happens with it, and we'll keep you guys updated.
So what would be the first thing that you would look at when seeing something like this? Where would you start?
Well, at the moment, so it's going to go through the insurance. So the customer's opted to use us as his repairer. He's told his insurance company, the car's going to Auto Body Technic. I don't care what you say. The car's not going to your approved repairers. It's only staying at Auto Body Technic. So that's the first thing that happens in this case. So then we'll get in touch with his insurance company and do an estimate. An estimate is exactly what it says. It's an estimated cost of repairs. Until we strip this car down and take all the wings off, the bumper off, and whatever else you got, only then we can tell what's the true extent of the accident. But what will happen in this case is, so we can't, if it's going through the insurance, we can't just go along and start taking things off. We got to wait for the insurance company to come down, or send them images and get their view on it. On something like this, the insurance company will send their own engineer out. Me and him will have a chat about it, see what route of action we're going to take to start repairing this and how to get a full cost of the repair. So then he will authorize us to go ahead with the repairs. So bit of a lengthy process, but it's the way things are done with insurance work.
It's a necessary process.
It's a necessary process of the way things are done, yeah.
Well guys, as you can see, we've had a little bit of a eventful week here at Auto Body Technics. And we want to thank you guys. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for getting an update with us all here today. And there's more to come. Hopefully we won't have other cars dumped on us randomly.
Hopefully not, yeah.
And hopefully we won't be getting stuck either. But coming forward, we've got a couple of things planned, as we mentioned before. A few projects in the works. It's just a case of now getting all that sorted. Have you got any updates on that?
Nothing at the moment, but things are happening.
Things are happening in the background.
Yeah.
There's a lot of process goes into the background behind a lot of this stuff. So before we can get to the stage of building a car, or before we can get to the stage of prepping a car, or before we can even get to the stage of unveiling a car, there's a lot behind the scenes that goes on there. So
Yeah.
perfect. Well, with that, I think, should we say goodbye?
That's it.
Thanks,
See you guys next week.
See you next week.
Press record.